Okay, we're going to talk about text wrap, which is really cool. So I've downloaded a picture of a monkey, so I'm going to place it. File, place. You know I don't copy and paste anything. It's always file and place. Oh, where did I save the monkey? Good question. Let me save him to the desktop. I always forget and put them in downloads, but this is just as quick as finding the downloads folder. Okay, so I'm going to place the monkey. Hello, monkey. Aren't you lovely? Now, normally we don't increase graphics like this after we've placed them, right? Boy, that is one mean monkey. And this is the kind of monkey I had when I was a kid, by the way. A little capuchin. I had two of them. Mickey and Chico. And I have scars. Okay. I like monkeys. And our monkey, when she was mad, looked like that.
I said, why monkeys?
Oh, why monkeys? Oh, because my parents are nuts. My mom got her tubes tied after her 4th child, and then all of a sudden, she and my stepfather are like, we can't have any more kids, but we can get a monkey. So I had a sister as a monkey. Yeah, crazy reasoning, but, you know, whatever. Whatever it takes for people to, you know, get their emotional whatever. Okay, now I'm going to put some type in a box. I'm creating a text box. Put my text tool in there, type tool. I'll go ahead and get me a typeface that's going to work. We'll just do Arial regular. And I'm going to go to type and fill with placeholder text because I am just doing a demo. Okay, so this is just junk text. Let me increase the size so we can see it a little bit. And let me make all this text white. Now, we hopefully understand that taking and making text white and reversing it out of black, long passages tend to go unread and it sparkles a lot. So we don't want to do a lot of body copy like this. I just happened to grab a picture that had a black background, so normally I would do this on a light background. Okay, so what we want here is we want this text to wrap around this edge of this monkey, right? It's called text wrap. Now, depending on the type of image you have, InDesign can or cannot detect the edges of this image. Now, this has a clear edge, but I don't know if it will detect it. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to go to Window, and then I'm going to go down to Text Wrap. Now, as Jacob was saying, if you go to Essentials and you go to Typography, Text Wrap will actually come up over here. So, if I go back to Essentials, you'll notice Text Wrap is no longer there. So if you are working with a lot of typographic devices, click on Essentials and go to Typography. And that way you don't have to go to Window all the time and get all these panels up. So I'm going to get the Text Wrap panel. I have the monkey selected. Now I want the text to wrap around the shape of the monkey. So the first one up here on the top says no text wrap, that symbol, no text wrap. That's by default set. The second one says wrap it around the bounding box. Oh, my type disappeared. Well, that means that the text is wrapping around the edge of the box. Let me make this text black again so you can see. This text needs to be black. So this is how we get it to wrap around a box, okay? Which is fine. The only problem with this is the type is riding right up to the edge of that box. This is what I call claustrophobic typography. That type is like, get me out of here. And when you're reading it, you're like, ooh, get me out of here. So when you're dealing with text wraps around a shape, you want to not only tell it to wrap it around the box, you want to tell it to wrap it around the box, you also want to tell it to give it a little bit of a padding. Okay? So the second row down, you'll see a top offset, a bottom offset, and left and right. Now the link tool, or the tool is checked to make all of them the same. Right now that's safe that they're all the same. Okay, so John, on your book, I think maybe you had some text wraps, but you didn't have the offset set. Okay, now let's get back to wrapping around the shape of the monkey, shall we? Take the text wrap back off of this. Let me make the text white again. Paper color is white. And let me move him over. Oh, that monkey is so mad. All right. I'll hit the W key. So maybe I'm doing a poster on Mad Monkeys. Maybe my band is called the Mad Monkeys. All right. Now, I'm clicked on the image of the monkey. I'm getting my text wrap up. I'm going to tell it to wrap around the shape of the object. Okay, now you see how my text disappeared? Well, let me see if I can get it to detect the edges of this shape. So where it says wrap to both right and left sides, let me see if there's anything that says left or, well, that's not there. How about contour options? Under the type it says same as clipping. Well, I haven't done a clipping path. Let's see if it will detect the edges. Ooh, there it says detect the edges. Will it detect the edges of the monkey? No, because it has black pixels in the background. Darn it. If this had white pixels in the background, it would have detected the edges. Let me go on the internet and find another image with a white background, and I will show you how this works when it can detect the edges. Hello, monkey. Cartoon monkey is what we've got now. So you have to know, you have to know what, are there pixels in the background? If they're black, it won't detect the edges. If there's all sorts of patterning, it won't detect the edges. So I'm going to move monkey off to the side. I'm going to bring the new monkey in. There he is. Now I'm going to put him near the bottom. And I'm going to make this text black again, because for this particular demonstration, we want to be able to see that text. I'm going to send that monkey to the back. Object, arrange, send to back. All right, hello monkey. We're going to have the text kind of wrap around the top of the monkey. We'll see if this promotes readability or not. Or we could even have it wrap around the tail of the monkey or the head. Well, actually, we'll put it right here. I'm going to go to text wrap. I'm going to tell it to wrap around the object shape. Well, when I think object shape, I think shape of monkey, not shape of box. So where it says contour options, say detect the edges, please. Look at that! It detected the edges of the monkey and it's wrapping that text around there. Now I'm going to set the offset a little bit. And if I justify the copy, now make sure you use just regular justification with last line a line left. This is the only justification you should probably ever use. These new ones they put in here, I don't know why they did it. So just use that first one. When you do that, it wraps a little bit nicer when you justify copy. Now, this is not a good image for a text wrap. Why is that? Well, because the text is jumping over shapes, okay? So certain images do not work well for text wraps. When you do something like this, and you put this monkey here, people get confused as to where to read and pick back up, okay? So maybe this is a little bit too complicated a shape to text wrap on. All right? Maybe if I move him over, it'll just text wrap around his hand and his head. There we go. I'm much happier with that. If you wanted to, you could use the white arrow tool and click on the monkey or your object, and if it decides it wants to, let me put this monkey back into the text. If you have type that is going places you don't want it to, take this down a little bit, like down by his tail and his ear, if I click on the monkey with a white arrow tool, I can click on these nodes. This is that vector stuff. When we remember vectorize and all that. I can click on nodes and I can crowd the type out of certain areas that I don't want it to wrap into because it's going to just confuse the reader. So you can edit the wrap. I don't like it coming in here in between his hand either. There we go. So I have manually edited some points on this monkey so the text, I'm pushing the wrap out. I'm not messing with the monkey any. I'm just messing with his lines. Those little blue lines don't print. They're just there as a guide to kind of play around with if you need to. Okay? So the text wrap is a really cool tool, but you got to know how to use it and offset it. Okay? Now let's get back to the other monkey because this is a problem that we might have in our experience as designers. Let me make this text all white again. When you have a challenging image, such as an image with a solid colored background in it. Golly, why can't I get this guy to move? There we go. Let me take the text wrap off of him. we will have to do a manual text wrap here. Now, a manual text wrap means I'm actually going to have to use the pen tool, and I'm going to have to draw around the shape of this monkey, like so. I'll go pretty far away and out, because I don't want that text to creep back in. And then I tell that shape to have a text wrap on it. Make sure it does not have a stroke of black on it. And this is what it will look like. Excuse me. Like this. If you do not justify the text and you do flush left, ragged right, the wrap doesn't look as good. Okay? So when I'm text wrapping an object, I almost always, not always, but almost always do a regular justify with last line, not justified. Just looks tighter. So there's text wrap. More than you ever thought you needed to know. Any questions?